what's up? This is my first time stepping foot on African soil, which is crazy. Anyways, we're in Morocco. We landed in Casablanca. The big thing that I'm surprised by already is the level of palm trees. Like basically every tree here is palm trees. I didn't know like Casablanca, I guess it's more unique, but in general, I didn't know Morocco had so many palm trees. Really cool. We are driving up the Barbary Coast. The Barbary Coast is a large part of Africa. Morocco has a part of the Barbary Coast. And back in the day, pirates were a big deal. The Barbary pirates was a huge, actually it was an industry. It turned into something so big that it was an industry in Morocco. And there were republics. States were taking shares of the profits of these pirates. So another interesting fact that I've been observing, the cars here, the traffic is actually a lot. And if you can drive in Morocco, it's one of those places you can drive anywhere. Traffic's insane. But that's a huge cause for the smog here because it's so dry that car emissions on their own will cause so much smog. But it makes sense that there's this traffic and this because the city itself has 4 million people. And that's just the city. The province of Casablanca has more than 7 million. It's getting to 8 million. But that's just the city. The overall Morocco country, the population is actually declining and it's exponentially declining. Not that rapidly, but it's decreasing at a growing pace. And it's interesting because the education systems are going downhill. And a big reason is back in the day, you needed a lot of children to protect your land here in Morocco. But nowadays, you don't need children to protect your land. Your land is protected by either police or army. In fact, the army protects land because they have nothing to do. Like the tour guide told us, literally the army, they're not fighting anyone. So what is the army doing? But it's still something you serve in. So they protect land. They do things like that. It's interesting. But overall, the population definitely is declining here. Alright, what's up guys? We're back in Casablanca and I'm in front of the world's 13th largest mosque and the largest mosque in Morocco. It looks really grand, really nice. Rick's Cafe from the film Casablanca in 1942 was brought to life with this real-life rendition here in Casablanca. Alright, we're now in Meknes, which is a beautiful, like, small town. It's not that small. Anyways, this is one of 7 gates here in Meknes that used to be a border for Meknes. Alright, I'm now on a random street, still in Meknes. And basically, these people, like, it's not just Meknes, it's all these random little shops and cities. Like the rest stop and just now at a patisserie, they're just giving us free food. Like, we're asking for something, we get it. Ask how much, they're like, oh no, this was not meant to be paid, and they insist on free food. They're really nice here.
Ma chérie veut me faire un bout à moi, moi, moi. Et pour toi je donnerai tout ça, moi, moi, moi. Ma chérie veut me faire un bout à moi, moi, moi. Et sur nous j'entends les loups à dire ouin, ouin, ouin. Ma chérie t'es pas polie, ce soir on va te faire un boulot. Juste derrière y'a la police, en plus de ça je suis trop saoulé. Toute la nuit au télo, juste après ça je l'enfollow. Elle sait qu'on gère la mélo et que c'est de la frappe d'Engolo.
Alright, we're now inside a mausoleum. This is where the ugly King Ishmael with 32 children was buried. And some of his children were buried here with him, of course. He had 32. I don't think 32 children all got buried here. Some of them have their own families, things like that. but most of them were actually buried here with King Ismail in this mausoleum. It's actually quite beautiful. It's grand. I'm surprised there's not that many tourists.
J'ai pas besoin de toi dans ma vie. Sans toi je fais plus d'oseille. Tout a changé si tu savais. J'ai pas nié les sentiments. Pourquoi tu mens? Tu dis que c'est mort, que t'as changé de continent. La dernière fois t'as pas dit non, t'as pas dit non. J'en parle à mon bave. On y va. J't'ai dit faut que ça pète. On débarque dans ta fête.
Alright, so we're just taking a pit stop, and one thing I'm noticing is there's a lot of cars being stopped. And Morocco has a lot of periodic checkpoints, as most countries should, honestly. And they are checking every car. And it's interesting because probably the main reason here is actually Algerians are not nice to Moroccans at all. So these stops are to check for, you know, various suspicions, various reasons. This is actually where we're stopping. There's like a cool little shop. Alright, I'm just walking on the roof of a building right now with a beautiful view. Oh my god. Anyways, this region, another thing that's big here, you know, there was a region with apples being a big industry. Here, well, actually that's an apple. That's an apple growing right there, that red dot. But no, this region's also popular for onions, and not just onions in general. Oh my god. Oh my god, that's so cute. Look. Dog footprints ingrained in here. But it's popular for turning onions from white to red. And there's a lot of, I guess that was as we were passing, maybe not this specific area, but in general, there's a lot of areas here that are, I guess, turning onions from white to red, red onions. There's one right there. I'll try to record it. There's also a baby human, if you see. That's the human baby. Look at him. And then right here, onions, red onions.
On débarque dans ta fête. On survêt dans le fait. Ma chérie veut me faire un bousa bousa moi. Et pour toi je donnerai tout ça moi. Ma chérie veut me faire un bousa bousa moi. Et sur nous j'entends les loups dire Ma chérie veut faire.
Alright, we're just walking through Marrakesh a little bit at night just to see. I got gelato. One of the flavors is dates. Dates is a cool flavor that I feel like Marrakesh or Morocco would be able to do well, so I'm gonna try it. It's actually pretty fire. It tastes like dates, really sweet. I do like it, wow.
Le jour d'après je fais le mort. J'ai pris 10K dans la soirée et je suis venu en pyjama. J'ai trop nagé dans l'industrie, j'ai côtoyé des piranhas. Elle veut faire un tour au soleil, j'ai cœur comme le Fujiyama.
Alright, we're back on the roof of our hotel, and basically we took a taxi to get back. But there's some rule, I don't even know if it's true yet, but they told us that only 3 people max in a small taxi, like a normal car. And then there's a bigger taxi version that'll seat up to 6 people. So essentially, the 4 of us tried to go in a small taxi. They said no. They were like, no. Then another small taxi pulls up and says, for the same price, just 2 of you here, 2 of you there. But obviously we went in a bigger taxi. And the taxi system here is strange. It's just, you know, you bargain ahead of time, and based on what you tell them, you'll just pay that. So we gave him a price before he drove, and then he just said yes and did that.
Le ventre rempli comme Rihanna. On y va.